All right, let's talk about Tua of the Miami Dolphins here, who, I think I had an all right game in this. I'm sure people who hear that are going to say, what are you talking about? They lost the game. Tua threw 3 picks. How could you say he had an all right game? Well, because I watched the game, and you can see some of these picks weren't his fault. Like the first one you see, it's on the screen. This was the first play, one of the first plays of the game. You see Tua's going to hit Jalen Waddle, perfect throw. Waddle says, "Yeah, I don't really feel like playing offense right now. Why don't you guys have a turn?" Just coughs it up. Not ideal there at all. There was also one at the end of the game where they're kind of trying to set up this sort of like lateral thing, and it just gets that route gets jumped. I mean, again, hard to really blame him for that. 5 seconds left when you're down 2 points, just trying to make something happen. I don't really get how you blame the quarterback on that one. So 2 of them just straight up weren't his fault. However, when there are 3 interceptions, there's probably going to be one of those at least that you can have some share of the blame, and that would be the case. This is that one. 3rd and 13 here. You see the route that Tua is going to want to look towards on this play. One of those, routes going over the middle here. We know that the Dolphins kind of live in this area. So one of the things they really like to do is attack over the middle of the field with Tua. However, on this one, it's not really open, and Tua probably should have just, not made that throw. Really good defensive play, and also didn't love how his receiver broke on the ball. Hard to read the number there. It looked like it was a back, maybe. Couldn't exactly say, so I'm not going to take a guess because I don't want to blame the wrong guy. But ultimately, wasn't a great route there. Still, I think Tua had enough time. He probably should have looked somewhere else. So fair criticism, but again, really one mistake. It happens. It's not ideal, but also not something I'm going to completely crush you over. And heading over here, there were some good plays from Tua in this game. There really were. This one, it's a 3rd down and 8. It's going to be a zone blitz for the Los Angeles Chargers, and you have a receiver who's going to try and get into a gap in coverage over the middle here. Watch as when Tua takes the snap, he's going to, be under pressure. So he can't just cleanly step in the pocket and make the accurate throw that he wants to make. He still wants to make this throw, but he's going to have to do it while under pressure. However, that is exactly what he does. Under pressure makes a beautiful throw. They're able to pick up a big gain. So really nice play from Tua. There were the bad, but there was a lot more good, I thought, in a game like this. Of course, there's this play, which is just, this is what Tua and the Dolphins have done really since Mike McDaniel has gotten there, as good as anyone in the league, and it's good to see them getting back to being good at this, right? Because earlier in the season, weirdly, they weren't good at it, and it was like, what's going on here? Just an over-the-middle route with Jalen Waddle against zone coverage. Watch Tua with a bit of an exotic play action that helps get those players over the middle completely cleared out, and as of right here, there is a big window for the Dolphins to make this play. Tua puts it right on the money to Jalen Waddle. Good stuff there by, everyone involved, the guys helping with the play action, Waddle, Tua, coaching staff for dialing that play up, everything working well. So yeah, I mean, there were plays like this. I feel like I have to keep talking people into this. I did not think it was a horrible game. Now, there were some mistakes in this game for sure. I already brought up the interceptions. This next play wasn't ideal. It's going to be really watch the left guard. This is a 3rd and 10. The Dolphins did have that 3rd quarter where they failed to put up a single point. You see here, pressure just going to get through so quickly. Not a lot Tua can do. The Chargers did kind of force the Dolphins out of rhythm in that 2nd quarter, kind of get them to, have these obvious passing situations where they could, rush the passer well, get Tua off his game, have to throw checkdowns or take sacks. So, good stuff by the Chargers. But also, you had stuff like this. This is in the first half. This was an interesting play. So this is going to be a 1-point game at this point. 3rd down and 10. So, if you don't convert here, you're giving the ball back to the Chargers with all 3 timeouts. It's an important play to convert. Jalen Waddle on the outside. Well, okay, I don't know why they're leaving him one-on-one, but yeah, throw it that direction. That makes sense. Tua is going to take the snap. He looks in Jalen Waddle's direction, fires in that direction, and it's open. I mean, this is just what Jalen Waddle can do to you, right? I mean, this is why he was drafted when he was drafted, because he is an elite level talent. Now, things are going to get a little bit weird here, admittedly. So, for one thing, Waddle is clearly looking over towards the middle of the field. However, Tua was expecting him to be kind of more outside the numbers. So this throw is actually going towards the opposite shoulder of where Waddle is expecting it. However, watch Waddle adjust. He's able to track the ball, and then even when he bobbles it, he ends up catching it before he gets out of bounds. That helps set up a field goal that allows him to go up 4 instead of having to give the ball to the other team. So really good stuff there. And also this play. So what's going to happen here is this is going to be this is the key play, right? For the Dolphins, they found themselves down, were able to crawl back, get themselves down just 6 points in the final minute of the game, and get the ball to the 7-yard line. But 3rd and goal, only really 2 shots left at this to try and make sure that you can take the lead. And this is a great play from Tua. This might have been a lot of times the most important play isn't necessarily your best play. Here, I think the best play was the most important one. So you see the concept, cover 2 zone, and you see what Miami is going to do, where you have your receiver closest towards the sideline, towards the bottom of the screen, running a route to hopefully get the safety kind of out of position. You essentially have 2 routes going towards where the safety to the left is. What's interesting about Tua is that he uses his eyes to get players out of position. So watch Tua on this play. Watch how he's going to look towards his right and then look over to where he really wants to go. He wasn't planning on going towards his right. He was planning on going towards the top of towards the bottom of the screen, towards his left. Ultimately, though, this is now not open. The Chargers do a good job at covering where they need to cover. So for Tua, well, now he's going to have to figure something else out. Watch him then get back all the way over to the right, and it's worth mentioning, really good pass protection here, giving Tua time to do all this. Usually if you want to hit your first read, you're going to have time for that. But if you have to get further down to your reads, that's when you might not have time. Here, though, when he looks towards his right, what you see is 2 Chargers players who are looking for a shallower route, which kind of makes sense, right? You throw that route, if you're Tua, it would not be the worst thing in the world. You only have 1 play anyway, so killing some clock actually might not be a bad idea. But also just gaining another 4 or 5 yards helps set up a much more convertible 4th down situation. But because both of those 2 players are kind of looking underneath, well, Tua, kind of watch what he does to help sell this a little bit. He looks there, he even steps in that direction, but then throws further down the field. And that might have even been a no-look throw. I think he looked right before he threw, but he definitely looked towards the back, faked as though he was going there, throws it over both of those 2 defenders, and they kick the extra point and take the lead, a lead that they would not hold on to. So, unfortunately, it is a loss, and you can't say, wow, Tua's found something. And also just, the box score, no one's going to say it. But I thought they played well. I thought Tua played well. Again, there's a lot of issues with the Dolphins, but at least you have, something to hold on to. I did not think this was a bad game. A game they were not expected to win, and they nearly won. So, yeah, very interesting. But those are my thoughts on all of this. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.